Hey, this is Hammer 357 Mag here. This is a video response to YankeeMarshal's top 5 iconic handguns. And already I can see, based on some of the VRs and comments he's getting, that we understand what iconic means. So iconic, and I've highlighted in purple the things that are relative to this application of the word iconic, is having the character of an icon. So let's go to the definition of an icon. And again, in modern culture, in the general sense of a symbol. So in other words, it's a symbol. And again, recognized as having some well-known significance. It can be an image or depiction that represents something else of greater significance. And for this application, it's associated with cultural or political standing. So what this really means is we have a symbol that's well known, that's associated with cultural or political standing. So based on that definition of what iconic means, I have selected my top 5 iconic handguns, and let's quickly get to my choices here. Okay, number 5. The Luger. It was used by the Germans during World War I and World War II. It's the first pistol that was manufactured in the 9x19 millimeter, also known as the 9mm Luger. So again, from a cultural, not a cultural, but yeah, from the standpoint of political, okay, sorry, interrupted by a phone call. And again, what we got here, the Luger, again, is a political icon because it was used during World War II, I and II, and it is quite well known for that, plus it is well known in the pictures, which makes it cultural. Let's move on to the next gun. Again, along the same lines, we have the Colt government model M1911 45 automatic. Again, used in both excuse me, I'm having trouble talking this morning. Both World Wars, Korea and Vietnam. It was a standard military issue and is recognized as a political icon, plus used in many movies. So again, so I see that as my number 4 selection. Number 3 selection is the Snub-Nose 38. This one is used quite extensively for a period of time in the pictures. It was the number 1 pistol by all the detectives. Used in a lot of movies, so that becomes very recognizable from a cultural standpoint. I don't see it recognizable as a political standpoint, but cultural. This was the standard pistol that was used for years by the police. Let's move on. My number 2 is the Walther PPK. This is one of the most famous of all times. It was used by James Bond as a British secret agent. So again, all the James Bond movies, this was always a big deal, his Walther PPK. So culturally, this is a large icon. I mean, everybody recognizes this. And on a side note, is also the pistol that Adolf Hitler used to commit suicide. From that standpoint, it becomes a political icon. Okay, let's move on to the one I think is the number one, and that would be the Smith & Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum. Again, this is the gun that Harry Callahan used and made famous in all the Dirty Harry movies. You know, we all know who acted in that. That was Clint Eastwood. It was used in Magnum Force, the Enforcer, Sudden Impact, and the Death Pool. So again, from a cultural standpoint, this is probably the most recognized, at least the most recognizable gun for a long period of time. So everybody knows what the 44 Magnum is and Clint Eastwood. Okay, those are just my thoughts. Again, the iconic or icon becomes very subjective based on the period of time you grew up in, what culturally you were involved in, such as the movies you saw, and during the time frame, what was political, you know, the weapons used in war that were famous. So again, these become subjective. So again, these are just my opinions based on the time frame I grew up in and what I saw on TV and what I saw as political weapons. Your views may be different. If that's the case, you ought to leave some constructive comments or provide a video response into Yankee Marshal's top 5 iconic handguns, and then explain why you feel your selection is different. And I think everybody would be interested in hearing that, because again, I think based on the generation you're in and how you grew up and what you're exposed to will drive differences. Again, like I've heard some comments about the Glock, and again, all I can say is from the Glock standpoint, it isn't a political weapon, nor has it been a weapon that's used in TV or in movies enough to be used as something that is recognizable. So again, if your view's different, then go ahead and make a video response to Yankee Marshal's top 5, and again, explain why. And again, it's just your opinion versus somebody else's, and so, you know, the more diverse we get, the more interesting it is. So again, thanks for your time. Have a great day. Long live rock and roll and the American dream. Thank you. Oh my God.